Listen closely, because what you're about to hear is not just another police stop. This is a story where a broken windshield, a missing tire, and what appeared to be groceries in the back seat turned into something far more disturbing. It begins as a minor incident, but slowly reveals something dark and hidden. At the center of it all is a mother and her child named Eli. Stay with me, because every second matters. It's early morning in the United States. The cold weather and quiet streets set the scene. Police officers receive what seems like a routine situation: a woman pulled over, a damaged car, and a confused story. As officers approach her, she rapidly explains, "My windshield is broken, my tire is gone, kids were shooting paintballs at my car." At first glance, it sounds chaotic but believable. Vandalism happens, teenagers do stupid things. But something in her voice, the way she speaks, doesn't fully add up. The officer asks simple questions. "Where do you live?" "Just 1 block away, Bayview Park." "Can you drive the car?" "No, the tire is almost falling off." She seems desperate, cold, irritated, wanting to leave. Then she says something interesting. "I just want a ticket or maybe no ticket, and I want to go home." Now pause here. Most people in trouble try to avoid tickets completely, but she's already negotiating punishment. That's the first psychological red flag. Officers decide to take a closer look at the car, and this is where everything begins to change. They notice there's no tire at all, completely missing. Then they see something else. Inside the car, there are dark stains. The officer asks, "What is that?" "Looks like blood." She responds immediately, "That's not blood, it's deer meat." Now think about that. She continues explaining, "I bought deer meat from a farm. The glass broke, and it spilled everywhere." But here's the problem. The officers aren't just looking, they're analyzing. The pattern of the stains doesn't look like spilled groceries. It looks like something else, something far more serious. One officer quietly says, "This looks like a bullet went through." At that moment, this is no longer a traffic stop. It becomes a potential crime scene. What started as paintballs, broken glass, and groceries is now turning into something much darker. Now, what began as a simple roadside situation has officially turned into something bigger. The officers are no longer thinking about tickets. They are focused on one thing. What is she hiding? At this point, the officers make a decision. They take control of the situation. One officer quietly takes her car keys. Why? Because they already sense it. If she gets a chance, she might leave, and if she leaves, whatever truth is inside that car will disappear forever. They ask her to stay still. Just stand right here. Now watch closely. This is where behavior reveals truth. She starts getting uncomfortable, not scared, but irritated. That's important. Innocent people are usually confused or cooperative, while guilty people often get defensive, impatient, and controlling. She says, "Why are you looking in my car? You didn't even ask me." That line right there is not fear. It's a loss of control, because now she is no longer controlling the story. Meanwhile, the officers step aside and start talking quietly and seriously. One of them says, "You see that pattern? That's not random. That looks like blood spatter." Then another officer adds something even more chilling. "Last night, there were multiple homicides reported." Now pause. This is the exact moment where everything connects. A damaged car, a strange story, possible blood, and recent killings in the area. This is no coincidence anymore. They go back to her and ask again. Simple questions, but this time, they already know something is wrong. "Where exactly did this happen?" She answers, "Near a gas station." But earlier, she mentioned something slightly different. Small inconsistencies matter. In investigations, small lies lead to big truths. The officers now change their tone, less friendly, more direct, more controlled. They don't accuse her, not yet, but they apply pressure. And here's what happens psychologically. When pressure increases, a false story starts breaking. She begins repeating herself, adding extra details, unnecessary details. That's another red flag. Because truth is simple, lies need support. Then comes the moment that changes everything. One officer looks inside again, closer this time, and notices something disturbing. Not just stains, but what looks like tissue, impact marks, something that suggests violence. He quietly says, "This is not from groceries." At that exact second, this situation officially becomes a potential homicide investigation. Now let's connect this to something even darker, might be even more shocking than this one. Because this is where the name comes in. Eli, a young child, innocent and defenseless. Officers begin to question, where is the child? Who was with her? Why is there possible blood in the vehicle? Now the case is no longer about a car, it's about a life. Think about this for a second. A mother standing there trying to explain away evidence, while officers slowly realize a child might be involved. This is where emotions hit, not just for the police, but for anyone watching. Because when a child is involved, everything changes. The pressure keeps building, questions become sharper, more direct, with less patience. And now she starts losing control, not physically, but mentally. Her story is no longer consistent. Her tone is changing. Her confidence is dropping. This is the beginning of the breakdown. Now we stand at the edge of the truth. A broken story, a suspicious vehicle, possible evidence of violence, and a missing piece, Eli. So the question is, what really happened? What was she hiding? How did this situation turn into one of the most disturbing cases involving a mother and her own child? Everything has changed. This is no longer a roadside stop. It's no longer about a damaged vehicle. This is now about truth. And more importantly, what happened to Eli? The officers are no longer guessing. They are now working with a direction. They separate the situation, control the environment, and begin asking the questions that matter. Direct, focused, unavoidable. Where is Eli? And for the first time, there is hesitation, not anger, not irritation, but silence. And silence speaks louder than anything. She tries again, another explanation, another version, but now it's too late. Because once a story starts breaking, it never goes back together the same way. The officers already see it. The timeline doesn't match, the evidence doesn't match, the behavior doesn't match, and most importantly, the truth is missing. One officer steps back, looks at the car, looks at her, and you can almost feel it. That moment when everything clicks. This wasn't random. This wasn't vandalism. This wasn't just a lie. This was something intentional, something serious, something that involved a child who is no longer accounted for. Now imagine this. A child who trusted the one person in the world they were supposed to be safest with, a mother. And now that same mother stands in front of police, trying to explain away something that cannot be explained. This is where the story stops being just a case and becomes something deeply disturbing. As pressure builds, as questions get sharper, as silence grows longer, the truth starts surfacing, not all at once, but piece by piece, like a puzzle that no one wants to complete but has to. The vehicle becomes evidence, the inconsistencies become proof, the behavior becomes confirmation, and slowly, the reality becomes clear. Something happened to Eli, and it wasn't an accident. This is the moment that hits the hardest, forcing one question into your mind. How does something like this happen? How does a situation go from normal to something so tragic? Was it anger? Was it pressure? Was it something deeper, something psychological? We may never fully understand, but we can see the result, and the result is devastating. Now let me say something directly to you. This is not just a story, this is real life. Situations like this don't start in one moment. They build over time, stress, frustration, mental pressure, unresolved emotions. And when those things are ignored, they can turn into something irreversible. So if there's one thing to take from this, it's this. Pay attention to the signs, speak up when something feels wrong, and never ignore mental and emotional stress. Because sometimes, the consequences are permanent. Now, I want to ask you something. After hearing this entire story, what do you think? Do you believe this was planned, or was it a moment that went too far? Let me know in the comments, because your perspective matters. And if you want more real stories like this, stories that reveal the truth behind what really happens, make sure you subscribe.